That is not the way to go after it.
Heedless of Carl, unable even to hear him above the din, Taran pounded harder than ever. Sparks sprayed the air, but the more he pounded, the more the metal twisted and buckled, until, finally, the iron sprang from the tongs and fell to the ground. Taran stared in dismay. With the tongs, he picked up the bent iron and examined it.
"Not quite the blade for a hero,"
Carl remarked. "It's ruined," Taran glumly agreed. "It looks like a sick snake," he added ruefully.
"As I tried telling you," said Carl, "you had it all wrong. You must hold the tongs, so. When you strike, the strength must flow from your shoulder and your wrist be loose. You can hear it when you do it right. There's a kind of music in it. Besides," he added, "this is not the metal for weapons."
Carl returned the crooked, half-formed blade to the furnace, where it lost its shape entirely. "I wish I might have my own sword," Taran sighed, "and you would teach me sword-fighting."
"Wished," cried Carl. "Why should you want to know that? We have no battles at Caer Dallben."
"We have no horses either," objected Taran, "but we're making horseshoes."
"Get on with you," said Carl, unmoved. "That is for practice."
"And so would this be," Taran urged. "Come, teach me the sword-fighting. You must know the art." Carl's shining head glowed even brighter. A trace of a smile appeared on his face, as though he were savouring something pleasant.
"True," he said quietly. "I have held a sword once or twice in my day."
"Teach me now," pleaded Taran. He seized a poker and brandished it, slashing at the air and dancing back and forth over the hard-packed earthen floor. "See," he called, "I know most of it already."
"Hold your hand," chuckled Carl. "If you were to come against me like that, with all your posing and bouncing, I should have you chopped into bits by this time."
He hesitated a moment.
"Look you," he said quickly, "at least you should know there is a right way and a wrong way to go about it."
He picked up another poker.
"Here now," he ordered, with a sooty wink. "Stand like a man."
Taran brought up his poker. While Carl shouted instructions, they set to parrying and thrusting, with much banging, clanking, and commotion. For a moment, Taran was sure he had the better of Carl, but the old man spun away with amazing lightness of foot. Now it was Taran who strove desperately to ward off Carl's blows. Abruptly, Carl stopped. So did Taran, his poker poised in mid-air. In the doorway of the forge stood the tall, bent figure of Dallben. Dallben, master of Caer Dallben, was 379 years old. His beard covered so much of his face, he seemed always to be peering over a grey cloud. On the little farm, while Taran and Carl saw to the ploughing, sowing, weeding, reaping, and all the other tasks of husbandry, Dallben undertook the meditating, an occupation so exhausting he could accomplish it only by lying down and closing his eyes. He meditated an hour and a half following breakfast, and again later in the day. The clatter from the forge had roused him from his morning meditation. His robe hung askew over his bony knees.
"Stop that nonsense directly," said Dallben.
"I am surprised at you," he added, frowning at Carl. "There is serious work to be done." "It wasn't Carl," Taran interrupted. "It was I who asked to learn swordplay." "I did not say I was surprised at you," remarked Dallben. "But perhaps I am, after all. I think you had best come with me." Taran followed the ancient man out of the forge, across the chicken run, and into the white, thatched cottage. There, in Dallben's chamber, mouldering tomes overflowed the sagging shelves and spilled onto the floor amid heaps of iron cookpots, studded belts, harps with or without strings, and other oddments. Taran took his place on the wooden bench, as he always did when Dallben was in a mood for giving lessons or reprimands. "I fully understand," said Dallben, settling himself behind his table.
In the use of weapons, as in everything else, there is a certain skill. But wiser heads than yours will determine when you should learn it."
"I'm sorry," Taran began. "I should not have—"
"I am not angry," Dalban said, raising a hand. "Only a little sad. Time flies quickly. Things always happen sooner than one expects. And yet," he murmured almost to himself, "it troubles me. I fear the Horned King may have some part in this."
"The Horned King?" asked Taran.
"We shall speak of him later," said Dalban.
He drew a ponderous leather-bound volume toward him, the Book of Three, from which he occasionally read to Taran, and which, the boy believed, held in its pages everything anyone could possibly want to know.
"As I have explained to you before," Dalban went on, "and you have very likely forgotten, Prydain is a land of many cantrevs, of small kingdoms, and many kings, and, of course, their war leaders who command the warriors."
"But there is the High King above them all," said Taran. "Math, son of Mathonwy. His war leader is the mightiest hero in Prydain. You told me of him. Prince Gwydion, yes," Taran went on eagerly. "I know."
"There are other things you do not know," Dalban said, "for the obvious reason that I have not told you. For the moment I am less concerned with the realms of the living than with the land of the dead. With Anuvin."
Taran shuddered at the word. Even Dalban had spoken it in a whisper.
"And with King Aron, Lord of Anuvin," Dalban said. "Know this," he continued quickly, "Anuvin is more than a land of death. It is a treasure house, not only of gold and jewels, but of all things of advantage to men. Long ago, the race of men owned these treasures. By craft and deceit, Aron stole them, one by one, for his own evil uses. Some few of the treasures have been wrested from him, though most lie hidden deep in Anuvin, where Aron guards them jealously."
"But Aron did not become ruler of Prydain," Taran said.
"You may be thankful he did not," said Dalban. "He would have ruled, had it not been for the children of Don, the sons of the Lady Don and her consort Belin, king of the sun. Long ago they voyaged to Prydain from the summer country, and found the land rich and fair, though the race of men had little for themselves. The sons of Don built their stronghold at Caerdathil, far north in the Eagle Mountains. From there they helped regain at least a portion of what Aron had stolen, and stood as guardians against the lurking threat of Anuvin."
"I hate to think what would have happened if the sons of Don hadn't come," Taran said. "It was a good destiny that brought them."
"I am not always sure," said Dalban with a wry smile. "The men of Prydain came to rely on the strength of the House of Don as a child clings to its mother. They do so even today. Math, the High King, is descended from the House of Don. So is Prince Gwydion. But that is all by the way. Prydain has been at peace, as much as men can be peaceful, until now. What you do not know," Dalban said, "is this. It has reached my ears that a new and mighty warlord has risen, as powerful as Gwydion, some say more powerful. But he is a man of evil, for whom death is a black joy. He sports with death as you might sport with a dog."
"Who is he?" cried Taran.
Dalban shook his head. "No man knows his name, nor has any man seen his face. He wears an antlered mask, and for this reason he is called the Horned King. His purposes I do not know. I suspect the hand of Aron, but in what manner I cannot tell. I tell you now for your own protection," Dalban added. "From what I saw this morning, your head is full of nonsense about feats of arms."